Gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes.
Mr. Chairman, this is not one of those issues that members of Congress look forward to voting on. I think it makes us a little bit uncomfortable. It's not as easy for most of us to just put on a sign that says yes or no without the kind of emotional involvement that so many of our fellow citizens have because of their mother country from which they or their parents or ancestors might have come from. And there's an argument to be made, and you've cited most of them, Mr. Chairman, that have been already before us and we've already considered. Turkey is an important, strong, necessary ally of the United States in so many efforts, in so many ways. The role that they play in the Middle East as an intermediary, the geographic place that they, in which they occupy being so important to the world scene, and their attitude towards democracy being the democracy that we point to that says democracy can work in Islamic countries. All of these are of great import to us. And then there's the argument of forgive and forget. Why don't we just ignore what so many have called to our attention and just let it go by the boards and not address it at all? But overriding all that, I think, Mr. Chairman, is the issue of justice and the issue of history and the issue of the historic record. It's like telling victims of a crime, well, it happened already, forget it. It's what kept rape victims quiet for so many years. It's what kept Holocaust survivors quiet for 40 years. You know, when you think about it, it was 40 years before Holocaust victims ever spoke up about the atrocities they experienced during the Holocaust. Forgive and forget. It's easy to say, I suppose, if you're not the one or party to the one who's been damaged or hurt. You cannot forgive someone who hurt somebody else, and neither can you erase the problem from your memory. If you forget an injustice, then it doesn't occur. If you forget something that was wrong, you will no longer be able to tell right from wrong because wrong then goes away. I've given this a lot of thought and thought about it in personal terms, especially because we have those who still are around on this planet who say that the Holocaust involving the Jews committed by the Nazis did not occur. We hear it every day from the rantings of a madman in Iran. And some people laugh at it, and some people are confused by it, and some people are inspired by it, and some people say, oh, it's only words. And so many others say, if you don't confront these words, then it's going to happen again. And that's my concern here. There are in this audience, as you have introduced, two constituents of mine, among others, I'm sure, each of whom are 98 years old, Mr. Chairman. There was one that was here last year who's no longer with us. But these two ladies got up early in the morning in Flushing, New York, had some help in getting dressed, getting into a chair, being taken to the airport, being put on a plane, being taken off the plane, being put back in wheelchairs, coming to the Capitol, going through security, and getting to this room. They're 98 years old. They were alive at the time that this genocide took place, and they're here for justice. 98 years old. How long can they wait? Shall we tell them once again to come back next year? Mr. Chairman, history has to be righted. It has to be confronted. It has to be acknowledged. I'm concerned about the relationship that we have with Turkey, but that's a real relationship and it will endure. And I would point out that after the Holocaust, in which 12 million people were killed, 6 million of them being Jews, killed just because they were Jews, that this problem plagues us still. This is a matter, Mr. Chairman, that must be dealt with, and this is the day that we're going to deal with it. There is no comeback later for people, and there's no putting this vote off for us.